In this video, we're going to be interviewing Bryan Clark. He's one of our students that just hit his first $10,000 month. And we've been working with Bryan for about 6 months now. And I really like Bryan as a whole. Just a really solid guy. And I wanted to bring him on here today so that you guys could just hear from him on his journey of starting his coaching business, where he was when he started, what he was charging, how he got clients, and then two, what he's doing now and how that's different and what he's going to be doing in the future. Okay, so this is going to be a client interview with our client, Bryan, and really excited to do this. And let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, so in today's episode, we have Bryan Clark with us. Bryan Clark has been working with us for, it was about 6 months now. Is that right,
Yeah,
Bryan?
over 6 months.
About 6 months, and he's a health and fitness coach. I'm really excited to chat with him. He's been doing extremely well, and he's got a pretty clear picture or future of where he wants to go, what type of business he wants to build. And we kind of been talking about it a little bit these past couple of weeks. He came to our in-person retreat, and this dude's jacked. Also, you can't tell if you're watching this video. It's like, hey, you can't tell. But the first compliment I gave Bryan when I saw him was, "Bro, you look way more jacked in person." And he was like, "Wow, thank you. That's like the nicest compliment I've ever gotten."
Made my day. Made my day for sure.
So, Bryan, welcome, man. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Cool. You want us to start out by just sharing with the viewers here. Tell them a little bit more about your coaching business. What do you do?
Sure. So I coach people online. Uh, I'm a remote fitness and nutrition coach. So it's a lot of providing plans to people, but then the part that I really enjoy is providing the support and accountability throughout their work with me, where they feel like they've got somebody that is guiding them through the whole process of whatever their fitness goals are. So yeah, so I work with people online to work towards their fitness goals. A lot of my clients are focused on weight loss in general and just trying to be more fit. So yeah, just get connected with people and start working with them and teaching them about fitness and nutrition along the way, so that I'm also building that sustainability piece with them, and building their own self-confidence in that realm as well.
Cool. How long have you been doing this for?
Yeah, great question. So I am just coming up on 1 year officially that I've been doing this full time. Before that, I was a school counselor for 10 years. And so at the end of last school year, just about the end of May is when I pulled the plug on that for sure, and jumped into the online coaching world.
That's awesome. You're not the first person that's taken that plunge. We've actually a decent number of people who've been in like the educational system that have also gone on to create their own online coaching offer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it seems like a kind of a natural, I don't know, there's something about it that's a natural transition between like trying to help people in education and then wanting to help people online, and kind of whatever the problem is that we're helping them solve, like having that educator mindset of, I want to help you achieve this, but also help you understand how to do it yourself in the future, I think.
Yeah. And when did you start your business? Was that around the same time, or did you do this kind of on the side, like working your way up?
Yeah, I had kind of started about a year before that, with just a little bit on the side and stuff, but nothing too exciting until I really decided to take the leap, and yeah, then it became a real deal. I needed to work on building right away.
And did you have any certifications or anything when you got started?
Yeah, I started by getting a general personal training certification that I did, and then quickly figured out I needed to get some training in the nutrition realm as well. So I got a nutrition coaching specialization as well, and then that's kind of where I took off from there.
Cool. That's awesome, man. And when you got started, what was like I guess, what was the hardest thing for you? Like your big struggle when you got started?
Yeah, well, there's a couple, but I think the biggest one was having the confidence to put myself out there and ask people for money for helping with these things. I did a lot of work for free and a lot of work for very little money in the beginning, trying to kind of prove myself, and I think to also prove myself to me, to like build that confidence and show that I could that I could do it. And yeah, getting kind of over that imposter syndrome of like, oh, I don't have a degree in this field, or I don't have as much training as some other people in this field. But kind of, yeah, getting that confidence to put myself out there and ask people for money to help them with those things.
Yeah, I think we're all in that same boat. We all like start at that same spot. I remember my first program I sold was a $50 strength program. It was a $50 like deadlift program. It was like an 8 or 12 week program. I had it all like all the volume was calculated, but I had the hardest time.
Yeah.
Sharing. Oh, $50. She's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Do you think it should be less?"
Right.
And she's like, "I feel like I should pay you more for this," and I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was your experience like with your first sale, or do you have like a memory like that?
Oh gosh. Well, for quite a while, it was like $100 a month. I will talk, and like it was ridiculous because I was like, I'll talk to you. You know, we can do a every week. We'll do a half-hour call. We'll do touch points throughout the week. I'm keeping track of your nutrition log that you're sharing with me. It was like a lot of work for $100 a month, and I at one point I kind of did the math, not soon enough, but I was like, man, I'm going to need like 100 clients to make this work. And I'm not going to have time for 100 clients at that. So yeah, I think it was a good experience to get more experience quickly because I was able to work with a lot of people, and connect with people and stuff. But I was really glad that I came to the realization that I really needed to increase my prices and look at that structure and what it would take to make it all make sense financially, time wise, and everything. So yeah, still working on that piece, but in a lot better place. Yeah.
What's your average price, or yeah, what's your average investment that you have with your clients now?
Yeah, well, it's still low, but for 6 months of the fitness and nutrition coaching, right now I'm at $1,650, $1,650.
Okay.
So that's something I'm still working on.
Yeah, and what's that come out to per month?
275.
Yeah, 266 ish, 275 if they're probably doing like month to month, something like that. Yeah, and that's still like, yeah, sure, you have room to grow, but like, it's a lot better than $100, a month, right? Especially if they're committing to that full time with you.
Yeah,
So I hear yourself, you're like, oh, I still have work to do. It's like, do we all do? Like, there's so many things that I see in my own stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not ready to be. But like, also, it's like, you've came such a long way
yeah,
already. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, you just had your first 10K month. Was it in March or February, or was it April?
It was actually just in April there.
April.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome, man. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
it's working for you, and that's the most important part.
Yeah, for sure. That's in hindsight from the first few months doing this, last year at this time, or last summer, I was definitely thinking it was going to take me years to build to where I am now revenue wise. So that feels awesome to have kind of already gotten there and be feeling like I need to keep growing now from there. So yeah, it's definitely a mindset shift.
Yeah, for sure. Where do you see yourself taking it?
I really like to kind of keep things small and just really be able to dig into the details with my clients and kind of really get even like more hands-on in ways. So, but I'd like to continue to build. Basically, I think I have room for some more clients yet, and then really kind of settle in. I think around 50 clients and kind of maintain that and figure out financially, revenue wise, find a good price point where I can make that work with about 50 clients. Now, this could change, but at this time, I don't want to necessarily hire other coaches or anything like that because the coaching is like the part that I really, really enjoy. So perhaps in the near future, hiring some people to help with some of the marketing and messaging and stuff like that. But I'd like to be able to do all the coaching myself.
I hinted to that on kind of the intro because I want to highlight that because I think a lot of people, when they think about starting a business, is like, I got to scale it. I need 4 coaches. I want a sales rep. I want to build this empire. And that's fine. That's a goal for a lot of people. But also there's a lot of people that just want to have it be a kind of a solo show. Maybe you said you might have a VA who's going to help out with messaging, lead gen,
Yeah,
and some social media stuff. That's cool. But it sounds like you have a really clear vision of like, I don't want to create more to manage, more stress.
yeah,
And Claire is similar. She kind of went down. I'm gonna get into the mastermind space. I'm gonna get into the coaching space, and like, oh, everyone's scaling. I got to scale too. And like, it didn't feel good for her. And I really like that about you as well. Is that you're not forcing yourself into this model because that's what everyone else is doing. It's like what your goals are and like what type of lifestyle you want to live. And because you know those things, you're just gonna do the things to do that. Like 50 clients, single roster. You were pretty clear on that. I was like,
yeah,
like that. Now it is just like working backwards on the numbers of, okay, well, 50 people, say they're paying $300 a month. That's what, 15,000. Yeah, that'd be $15,000. And it's like, cool. Do I want to do 20? Okay, but now I just need to do $400 a month. Which is like very reasonable too, depending on the level of service and the type of people you're helping. Yeah, I admire that about you, man.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, I definitely don't want to build an empire. I think of scaling in my mind is like, how can I just continue to provide more value, um, and really build the experience instead of building my roster to gigantic proportions. So yeah,
That's great. Now, how many total clients you got right now?
I'm about 33, I believe, right now. So getting up there. It's feeling like I'm definitely more busy than I have been in the past. I've had to try to be a little more efficient, and that's something I'm still working on, managing my time and being more efficient with things.
You'll get better with it with more reps. I find that like batching, I used to batch all my programming in one day on like Fridays. So I would just sit at a coffee shop, listen to some tunes, and just go to town. And that was really helpful for me.
Yeah, I need to work on more of that for sure.
Right now, you're at 33 clients. Like, walk us through that journey of like, all right, I launched. I'm leaving the school system. I'm launching. Like, what was that journey like for you? The first 5 clients, 10 clients, all the way to you're at now. Would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, sure. The first few clients absolutely came well, and still, I would say a lot of my clients have come from my warm market and people that I have known, that I've worked with in the past or been friends with or whatever. And yeah, it was definitely, especially in the beginning, it was like, hey, I'm brand new at this. I started posting stuff on Facebook and Instagram about what I was doing, to make sure at least my network knew that I was switching careers and doing this, and got my first few clients just from that, which was, it was great because we already knew each other. It was, an easy connection to make. They, probably knew still, that I've always kind of been into fitness and stuff. And so it wasn't like, oh, he's doing fitness stuff now. I wonder if he knows what he's doing and stuff like that. So it was like, okay. But yeah, and it was, like I said, it was $100 a month. So anybody that wanted to do it, talked to me and basically started without batting an eye. Cause I was like, yeah, $100 a month. We can work on this. No contract or anything, so it was just like, hey, you want to do another month? Yeah, okay, let's do another month. Great. And so there was a lot of less than $1,000 months in there. It was really, really challenging for me, I will say. Last winter, when I was kind of making the decision to take the leap, man, that was the most stressful experience I think I've ever had. Deciding to leave public education where you've just been in this system for 10 years and stuff, to just go try something on your own. But yeah, it was like I knew I needed to do something different and just jump in and try it. So I did. And so it was, yeah, it was a lot. But yeah, then just trying to gain some new clients and stuff all summer, last summer. A lot of post and hope, for someone to reach out because I really had no idea about marketing, or sales or anything aside from what a few Google searches had told me. So it was rough. It was rough to say the least in the beginning there.
Yeah. So what I heard of that was, and I just want to reiterate, is like you really emphasize your warm network and made those connections.
Yeah.
So like, who were those first like 5, 10 clients? Like, how did you know them?
Yeah, some were relatives, family members. Some were uh, coworkers or former coworkers that um, I had gotten to know pretty well, and I think just seeing me, working with me and stuff like that made it easy to be like, okay, I think he could help me with this. Um, I've seen him in the counseling world and leading, professional development stuff. So I think, yeah, he could probably, coach me up on some of this stuff. So yeah, that was a lot of it, to be honest, is former coworkers and family members and friends from high school, from people I knew from college and stuff too.
Nice. Now, I imagine people are listening or asking themselves, "All right, so what did you say to them? How did you get them, to give you money?"
Yeah. So you're asking in the beginning when I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah.
Exactly. You still
Okay.
did it. So
Yeah.
like you still got clients, even though your pricing, you didn't. So what did you do?
Yes. So essentially I asked them about what their goals were and stuff. I had just been posting a lot about what I was doing and just some different general tips about fitness and nutrition. And then I asked them, got into conversations with them about what their goals were, what they've been trying and stuff like that. And then just kind of laid out, well, here's kind of the program that I've been using with the other two people I'm working with. And so like this has been working. Do you feel like this is something that would work for you? And we talked about like timeline as far as what, for reaching their goals. From there, it was like, does this system make sense? And they're like, well, yeah, it sounds like it. So then it's like, okay, how about $100? And so we just jumped in. Then it was a lot of trust put in me from a lot of people in the beginning. But honestly, it was like, I don't know. I felt confident that I could help them with that, and it's weird. You think of problems that you are pretty good at solving, and you don't always think about how other people might be really bad at that thing. And so, just knowing that, like, I know how to help people with this, you don't always think about how they may not really know how to do that, and they might be like, "That's awesome! If you know how to do this, show me." Teach me, help me. So yeah, it was a lot of that and just working with people and trying things out. And then I got some referrals from some of the people that I was working with. So obviously that was helpful too and stuff.
It's good. Now, when you were pitching the $100 program, was that just in the DMs or text message, or were you on a call with them?
It was I would say a lot of just texting. Yeah,
Yeah.
to start with. Some people I do call with and stuff, but I really didn't have a structure for like what a sales call looked like or anything like that. Um it just kind of depended how a person might reach out to me. And if it was in DMs, then I would just give them the whole thing in DMs. And if it was on a text message or whatever, then I would just have the whole conversation there and share. So yeah, it was kind of all over the place.
You play. I mean, even like you're telling me the script you're doing, I was like, that sounds pretty good. Like most of the things, like, hey, what are your goals? What have you tried before? Right? Like, where are you getting stuck? Here's my systems. This makes sense. Yes, cool. This is what it looks like. Like that all flows, right? So
Mhm.
it changes of like how do you get new people to talk to you is kind of probably an area that I think you've recently learned a little bit more about. And then having the calls over Zoom where you can pitch higher prices, but it is harder to like try to sign somebody up with higher prices just via text. So it's like you had some of this stuff from the beginning. And I'm curious, like, how has that changed now? Like fast forward, 6, 12 months since then, how is your process for like marketing, client acquisition changed now?
Yeah, yeah. It has some structure now, which is great. Just the predictability piece of I know where leads are going to come from and stuff because of the growth accelerator system that I've been using. When I got started in there, I went through and updated a bunch of stuff in my social media to kind of optimize my profile there and make it clear what I do. And then instead of kind of the post and hope people see it and think it's funny or reach out, because they just happen to see one post and think, oh, this guy must really know what he's doing. I'm going to ask him to help me. You know, really being more strategic about my content and mixing in some value tips and suggestions along with talking about what I do and sharing client success and stuff like that to build a lot of that trust and stuff like that. And then honestly, the Instagram follower funnel where I've been boosting one of my reels to get a lot more followers has been instrumental in providing me with leads. Before that, it was literally like just post stuff and then sometimes go look for people that I could send messages to that look like they might be commenting on fitness posts and stuff like that. And I hated that. It felt like there was never a response. It was like, why am I doing this? But now when I'm getting 20 to 40 new followers every day to my Instagram page and I can reach out to those followers and start conversations with them and things like that, it makes the whole process so much easier and like less stressful knowing I've got those leads coming in every day versus oh I got to go find 20 people to try and have conversations with. So that has been huge, and from there, it's just like having those same conversations. I try to find out, you know, obviously, if they're following me from a reel where I'm sharing no nonsense fitness and nutrition advice, and I say follow me for more no nonsense fitness and nutrition advice. I can assume that when they come follow me, they are looking for no nonsense fitness and nutrition advice. And so I kind of lead with that now. I've actually kind of changed some of my messaging and been like, it seems pretty likely that you're looking for some fitness and nutrition tips based on you know what where you followed me from, what kind of thing are you working on right now and stuff. And so just finding different ways to engage with new followers there and start those conversations is huge. And then having some structure for the sales call too, where it's like, hey, let's have this conversation, get acquainted with each other and stuff. And then, you know, if you feel good about things and you would like some help and I feel like I could help you, let's jump on a call and I can share information about my program, find out more about your goals and see if it feels like a good fit. And that whole process is so much easier and doesn't feel like sales to me, which is awesome. Because that was another huge thing that I was like, oh, I don't want to have to do the whole sales thing. If I could just do this for free and not ask anybody for money, that'd be great. But it doesn't work that way. So yeah.
Yeah, well, let's dive into that because I think that's another thing that a lot of newer coaches experience is the fear around being salesy or the fear of putting a price tag to like what you do.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about that now?
I feel a lot better about it. I think some of it has been just getting reps and finding the right approach and being able to make it all conversational. Another huge part of it is just kind of leading with trying to help and even for myself focusing on that piece like this seems like somebody I can help with my service, then it doesn't feel like I'm being salesy when I'm like, hey, I really do think I could help you. You've expressed that this has been something you've struggled with for years. Let's talk about if you feel like this is a good system for you. All of a sudden, it's like I'm not selling anything. I'm just offering people my help, and that does come with you know an exchange of money. But at the end of the day, feeling good about like I can actually help this person. This person needs help. Like I would feel salesy if I got on with somebody and they were like telling me all these things they're doing and I'm like, they don't need my help. And I still tried to, you know, sell them something, then I'd feel bad. But when a potential client or a lead comes to me and they do need the help, you know, and I feel confident I can help them, it doesn't feel like a salesy situation anymore.
Yeah, that's good. I wanted to highlight one thing you said there, which is like you sell your process or your program, right? Like your process instead of selling yourself. And I think a lot of newer coaches when they don't have they don't have a process or a roadmap or a team, so it's just them. It's everything is them. If they can't detach themselves from that, they start to put a dollar value on their time. And I think that makes sense. I get it, but from when you shared of what you did for those first five people, you seem to have always been like process driven in a way, and I find that can really help detach that salesy feeling because you're not selling yourself. You're selling help, like you just said. Like, I'm trying to, this person, do they need help? And does my system or process, is that a good match? And if it's a good match, it doesn't feel salesy. But if I have to sell myself and I'm not sure if I can help, is where that disconnect
Mhm.
seems to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I love that. Well, cool. What's next for you? Right.
Yeah, what's next? Yeah, right now I'm just working on really implementing a lot of things that I picked up from the Austin retreat that I came to. So many great ideas, and now so little time to actually implement everything, just because uh, business doesn't pause while I work on stuff. So it's like just trying to keep up while I implement some of those new things, but ultimately I just want to continue to build some systems so that I can just consistently hit that 10K mark month to month going forward, and yeah, get to where I have those 50 clients that I can work with. For me, it's all about removing some of uh, the wondering and the questioning about where the next client's coming from, or when am I going to need to sign more clients and stuff like that. So just building in some predictability with those systems is what I'm really working on right now.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's what we're all working on. Any words of wisdom that you would give to somebody who's new, who's starting out, or even to yourself? Let's do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Like as you were leaving your last profession in the education space, what would you have told yourself that would have made things so much easier?
Yeah, I've got some of these things in mind because I have talked to some people that, are like, "Well, what is it like?" Or what words, would you have? And I think the first thing is like start before it's perfect, because I spent a ton of time like, I'm not going to launch yet. I'm not going to start trying to look for new clients. I want to build out my systems and make this all really neat and clean before I. And then it just doesn't matter how good you think you get it. When you start, you're going to find things you got to change anyway. So like start with an imperfect system, jump in, you'll figure out a lot faster what you need to change or update as you get going. So that was one thing. The other is jumping into this has opened up my eyes to like you could do anything online coaching wise if you can solve a problem for somebody that a lot of people have a problem, with. If you're good at it and you can also help other people get better at it, then you could be an online coach and have all this freedom of everything. So that piece is still kind of mind blowing to me when I pause and think about like what I'm doing and what other people are doing now in the online space. So that's huge.
Yeah, man, and it's cool because like once you learn how to do marketing and sales, as long as you can solve a problem,
Yeah.
you launch, in the future, you can launch other offers, right? So like I know so many people who pivoted who maybe they started as like a fitness coach and then they moved into more life coaching and then they moved to business coaching and then they realized, you know what, I like sales. I'm going to do sales coaching. And like they just rinse and repeat the process, but they change their offer, they change their niche, and they're allowed to do so because they work online. There's not like this, and they may have a small team. It's not hard to change things.
Sure.
And yeah, man, it's just there's a lot of freedom that is available when you learn the skills.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, man. That's all I got for you today. I just wanted to highlight you. You're doing great. You hit your first 10K month, and I really wanted the viewers, audience to just hear like your journey and the struggles that you had, what you did to overcome them, and kind of what you're working on now. Because there's so many people out there that just need to see that they can do it too, right? Like I'm not special, Bryan, you are special. I'm not gonna say Bryan's not special.
No, definitely not.
We're normal guys, right? We're normal guys, we're normal humans who just like have a passion to help people. And if you learn the right skills and you know what problems you're solving, you can really do so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man. Where can they find you? If someone has any questions about, you getting started or if they're want to get started, is there a way they
Yeah.
can reach out?
Yeah, absolutely. The easiest is Instagram. I am at Bryan Clark Fitness, Brian with a Y.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Y'all search them up there, shoot 'em a message, connect. And Bryan, man, thanks for being here.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
All right. See y'all.